This is Romania, my home country, home to beautiful castles and forests with the Carpathian Mountains towering over them, as well as people that can reach your wallet faster than light can. But as an ethnic Romanian, I've always questioned where Romania came from, and the historical factors that held a significant impact on the origin of Romania. The word Romania is derived from the Romanian word Român, which itself is derived from the Latin word Romanus, which means Roman or of Rome. So let's go back to right before when Rome was in charge of Romania, the year 100. Right now, this guy is emperor, Trajan. He's incredibly popular with the people and was declared Optimus by the Senate, Optimus being Latin for the best. And he's trying to solve a problem that the empire has had for a while now. It needs money. The empire relied heavily off of slave labor and loot pillaged from conquered countries in order to keep their economy stable. The Dacians at the time were presenting themselves as a threat, a very valuable and ludicrous threat, to which Trajan took up arms in the Roman army and beelined it for Dacia. After a two-phase war, Trajan achieved a victory over the Dacians. And with his blood-stained money, he commissioned art to exemplify and astound Roman citizens and visitors alike. One of these pieces was Trajan's Column, a towering 98-foot column of solid marble with chiseled engravings depicting the battles in Dacia, along with its cylindrical midsection, which was actually thought to be painted. At the bottom is a cubic tomb, where Trajan's ashes are stored. And at the very top is a bronze statue of our handsome subject of discussion, Trajan himself. Wait, where's Trajan? Why is St. Peter there? The column is a symbol of conquest, but to me it acts as a signifier of the beginning of a nation. Romania first gets its identity of Romanus from Trajan, as Dacia becomes annexed territory belonging to Rome. And as a Dacian and Roman descendant, I'm proud to be and identify as the product of a momentous historical event such as this, and the entirety of Romania is too, especially considering his name is mentioned and lauded in the national anthem. Pausing for just a second, did you know that we have our very own column here in the United States? It's the Astoria column, right here, in Astoria, Oregon. So I took the liberty of capitalizing on a family weekend road trip to take a small detour to Astoria. It was beautiful. We had a clear view of the Columbia River and the rolling hills of northern Oregon from the top of the column. But what was interesting to note is that the tower shared a striking resemblance with Trajan's Column. Though there wasn't any tomb at the bottom or a bronze statue of some significant figure at the top, it did tell a story through the paintings on the midsection of the column. The story of westward expansion, settlement, and the growth of civilization in the United States. But remember, this column is intended to represent conquest. What I didn't tell you was that the local tribes, the Chinook, Clatsop, and Cathlamet, were forced out of their homes as settlers showed up and drove the natives from their land, likely killing many natives. This column may signify conquest, but it also serves as a reminder to remember who was here before us, and that we must understand our identity as conquerors and the price that was paid to do so. Personally, it's a little heavy on my heart, but I acknowledge history and the actions of those who came before us, and accept that identity as an American living in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, weird tone change. Back to the Roman Empire. Trajan wanted to make sure that people knew about his victory and wouldn't forget his success. So when he constructed his forum, he had a couple of these handsome guys made as well. These are Dacian prisoners, made completely of Phrygian purple marble, posted up on the top of the porticos in Trajan's forum. The idea is that whenever people entered the forum and asked themselves, hey, I wonder where Trajan got all this money from to build all this, they could look up and see the Dacian prisoners and say, oh yeah, the Dacians. Remember how I said that Dacia was valuable and ludicrous? Thing is, Dacia was absolutely loaded. The territory of Transylvania was rich in valuable minerals, such as silver, iron, and gold. And when Rome invaded, Rome took the minerals that the Dacians had already accumulated, as well as the minerals that were in the mines. Wait, stolen gold.
Where have I seen this before? Let me think.
In 1916, during World War II, the Kingdom of Romania got a little spooked by the Central Powers, and teamed up with Russia, sending almost 95 tons of gold and other treasures over to make sure the Kaiser didn't get his hands on it. About a year later, the Tsar was dethroned in the Bolshevik Revolution, putting the Soviets in power, who refused to give it back. What the heck, Russia? A few decades later, in 1944, the Soviet Union overruns Romania in World War II, whom sided with Germany. The USSR imposed incredibly heavy war reparations, forcing Romania to give the Soviets resources, including, you guessed it, gold. It's 2025 and Romania still hasn't gotten that gold back. Seeing how Dacia never had its gold returned really resonated with me, as my homeland never had its gold returned rightfully. Romania has a similar problem that its ancestor dealt with some 19,000 years ago, which frankly upsets me a little bit, as Romania, my people, never got paid back or received some form of reparation. At least the Dacians got something in return. Let me explain. When Trajan showed up and took a bite out of the rest of the world, he commissioned the creation of a monument to his victory, Tropaeum Traiani. In English, please. Sorry. Trajan's trophy. The monument itself is located in Adam Cluj, Romania, but its construction isn't completely Roman. Some of the sculpted panels on the sides are in the local Dacian style, which is interesting, as this suggests that the people who were conquered likely showed some desire to be part of the nation that conquered them. I can't prove this though, because the people that did this have been dead for almost 1900 years. Even so, Rome did some pretty awesome things for the newly taken territory. New roads are built in the area, allowing traders working with Rome to also have some business with the former Dacians. Many of those roads still exist today. Bridges were built for better locomotion, aqueducts for water access, and participation in Pax Romana under the protection of the legions. The best thing that happened? Dacians were later granted Roman citizenship, officially making my ancestors, whom I am proud of, Romanus. This is essentially the genesis of the Romanian identity, one that I am incredibly honored to hold and feel special bearing. And that's essentially how Romania started all those centuries ago. And there's so much more that I didn't even cover. We still have 18 centuries to go. But even those few decades make me proud to be the product of a historically rich and interesting country. Proud to be Romanus.